What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, closet swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. I hope you guys are surviving the morning drop, but we'll see what happens for the rest of the day. Let's pull up some charts. So you guys are piling on in. We got Hector in the house. Good morning, Hector. Man, what happened to my chart? There we go. Just move this. Gotta just rearrange everything real quick, and we will get ready to go. Let's do it. We got Marcus in the house. Good morning, Marcus. We got Cindy. Good morning. Tony says back for more punishment from Nvidia and AMD. So far to start today, that would be correct. Jay, good morning. Let's see who else we got piling on in. We got Bill. Good morning, Bill. We got Brian, Cedric, Chad, Corey, Dave, David. We got Doug in the house. Dustin Owens, Ellen, good morning. We got Eric, Fayaz, Jenny, my boy Greg Gilbert's in the house, ladies and gentlemen. This is how I know it's going to be a good day. We got GW. Good morning. Jennifer, Joe, Jose, JT. We got Matt R, of course. He could be anywhere in the world right now, but he is here with us. Whew, I feel honored. We got Michael Holt. Good morning, Michael. We got Mike Quant Trends in the house. Rick GJ. That's kind of like DJ a little bit. We got Sam. Good morning. We got Stephen Wong, aka we got a title after this one too. We got District Governor 19H. I don't know what's going on, Stephen Wong, but it sounds like you're trying to rally up some votes there ahead of election season. I like it. Good. That's a smart play. We got Ted in the house. Tony, Will, Woodshed, Williams is rocking with us as well. All right. Steve says vote for me. I might have to do a mail-in ballot. Worst case, you just fill my name in for you. Just you can write my name if it gets back to us. Don't worry, it never does. It never does. It's all good. All good. I have some pets too if you want to write their names in for votes. But either way, we got Friday morning. So we had some unemployment numbers. And they were better than expected. Good news is bad news. I was going over this with the mentor group last night. I don't know if Gina's in the house yet. She's West Coast. But in a normal market, in a very, very normal, everything is running perfectly, which, I mean, that's a rarity, but or just not as bad as this. Normally, unemployment numbers, if they are reporting good numbers, that's good. The market will jump. Keep in mind, as we discussed for the latter part of the day yesterday from the 3:30 to 5 session, good unemployment numbers, meaning that people are working, is going to be bad for the market for the foreseeable future, probably at least the next 6 to 8 months of that, because the Fed, again, they're trying to not destroy the economy. That's it. They know they have to bring down inflation, but at the same time, they don't want to destroy the economy. So if the unemployment rate started to increase, meaning that more and more people did not have jobs or being laid off, then they would have to think twice about how much or if they are going to raise that rate. But right now, the unemployment numbers being good, people still working, that means that rate has the Fed has some wiggle room to now increase that rate up a little bit, and I think that's how the market's taking it. So we'll see. We will see, but I think that's the reason we're kind of getting this drop, because that means more than likely the Fed is not going to maybe listen to outside sources as to where he should put his rate, but pretty much be able to stick to the plan, probably be able to increase the rate, which makes money more expensive. However, under his eyes, if people are working, they make money, they could still dish out a little bit more, that they'll survive and the economy will eventually go on and inflation maybe comes down a little bit. So I think that's what we're looking at. That being said, just on a technical basis, Matt R says he's not a nice person. If you think he's not a nice person, you should definitely not have me as Fed chairman. I would have jacked that rate up 20%. It would be a 20% current rate to borrow money, and we would be done with inflation. But you wouldn't have to pay $75 for a bowl of Cheerios. So at the same time, I think he's being a little too nice. Matt says, bring it. Yeah, I would have told you first. I would say, hey, listen, I mean, some of you guys are probably still stacked up on toilet paper from the coronavirus. So you guys are probably still okay. It's when you have to start paying more for toilet paper. But right now, everyone's got them already. So we got POTUS speaking again. Lucian says today at 1:35 p.m. Be careful of that. Watch out for that. He's going to deliver remarks on building the economy from the bottom up and middle out. And he's going to twist it, bop it, shake it, beat it, hit it, twist it, pop it, pop it, pop it. Matt says use DKN to bet on it a little bit. Yeah, DraftKings is a banger today. So DraftKings is pushing higher. Again, it's not confirmed, but there's rumors or leak of rumors that there's a deal with ESPN on the horizon. So we'll just take a look at that one. After hours, we did have a decent little push for DraftKings. That's not DraftKings. DKNG. That's more like it. There's supposedly a major deal. Keep in mind they already have a deal with Caesars. So there's that. That deal's already on the table. How they work around the deal, I have no idea. But buy the rumor, sell the news. I think it almost got up to $18 yesterday. We started to pull back pretty heavily. Unfortunately, this is going to go with the market, and the market is down today. However, that being said, it does have an individual bullish catalyst. I think this little bit of a retest, or at least zone, buying pressure zone, could give us an opportunity to go bullish if the market wants to recover at all. We could look kind of decent on that one in a bullish play. I'd rather take it bullish today than bearish. But with the market bringing down all the boats, I don't know. The one thing on the market, though, so this is technically a retest gap. Yesterday was bearish. We are gapping down for sure, but we're not clearing. One other thing we went over in the mentor group yesterday, this is the candles that make people react are the main candles, right? So this candle right here makes people react because we're starting to break a support. That is going to enhance the story of the market where we were historically. This candle right here, that now trapped anybody that was forced to make a decision. And now they have to make a new decision. You have a gap up continuation. We're getting higher, clearing some levels. That one counts for a lot. That one will make people react. This one right here, inside day candle. So this one not really doing anything at the end of the day, right? There was obviously people buying and selling throughout the day, but a majority of people did not have to. If you went bullish on this day, you're probably still able to hang in there bullish this day. You're not really too worried too much. This one right here, not really. It's just an inside day. Inside days are going to be choppy in the market. Clay says, good morning from the East Coast. Where are you at on the East Coast, Clay? We got Ernesto in YouTube lands. Ernesto, think or swim tutorials. You do tutorials of think or swim? We got Joe Dagger just throwing up the flames. The fire is lit. Local missions. Good morning with Leo. Leo, YouTube land. Good morning. But these candles right here, these are all inside candles, right? So they're just building pressure because people are still deciding which way to go. This gap down is severe. Yes, because anybody in this candle that bought at the open, this candle, they're trapped a little bit. However, we do have a little bit of support down here. This is also a retest gap from yesterday. So believe it or not, I am looking actually for a little bit of a bullishness to retest this gap. We're not clearing the last candle that actually changed things yet, right? So if we somehow in the next 20 minutes, and I say somehow like it's impossible, but it's not. If we start coming down past the previous candle, then for sure, I think we're looking at some kind of target on the SPY for somewhere around that 360.72 zone, somewhere down there. Elon, good morning, Elon. Rock is in the house. He heard DraftKings and just strolled on in. But for right now, we're not really we're not breaking the last candle that made people really have to act. We have a little bit of support down here, and this is technically a retest gap. So even though there's some fear in the market because the market is dipping, I do think at worst case, doesn't mean we have to break out higher than this and we just rip. I mean, who knows, but I don't think so. But probably just a little bullishness. We got some bearishness, and then I don't know how people feel holding their stocks over the weekend. So we will see. And when I say holding their stocks, I really mean holding their positions to go bullish or bearish. Let's check the Qs real quick. QQQ. That was a fake wick on the SPY for that candle that reacted. Regardless, you're still kind of in that continuation pattern. You still have that support coming in. I thought that was a real wick. I'm pretty sure it was. I thought we got down there. QQQ. So the Qs. Ernesto, shoot me an email when you get the chance. Just send it to dan@reallifetrading.com. The Qs have been on a decent looking path. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We had one show of a little bit of weakness. Again, we are at a little bit of support on the Qs. So in this range, we had some buying pressure. I don't like the fact that we're gapping below 2 previous VPOCs. That's not a great sign. That's not a great sign. Qs, we might be a little bit weaker. Technically, it is a retest gap. I'm just not sure exactly how much we retest on this one. Qs look a little bit weaker than the SPY to me. Let me just go back to the SPY real quick. See if I missed that on the first one. Gapping down between 2. Yeah, it looks a little different. We already pulled down once. This is starting to be a little continuation to the bearish side, but SPY looks a little bit stronger to me than the Qs for right now. All right, let's take a look at AMD is getting killed. AMD is, Tony said, continued weakness on continued punishment, I think was the exact words. So we at least attempted a little bit of bullishness. We had some VPOC. We got right into that 10 EMA. This one is starting to come down underneath the last candle. That this one definitely had people pretty emotional, and we look to be opening right toward the bottom or underneath it. Again, we have a little bit of support. Any of that support that breaks, I'm going to go short on AMD. For sure, there's not even a retest gap. Technically, it's a green candle. Technically, it's a gap and go. And we are clearing just a lot of levels. I would love to short somewhere around 66.08 if it gets there. I don't know if it does. It might not. But I'd be leaning short wherever I could get in, sell as high as possible. Did we talk about Apple? Not yet. Nope. We got Nvidia. So same thing. Nvidia looks a little, it still looks weak. But technically on Nvidia, this is a retest gap. We are at support. I would actually expect this one to get bought up. So again, maybe that does help AMD, is just in the same industry. If I have to, I don't know if I want to play Nvidia today. If I have to short something, it's going to be AMD. I don't really see a reason to go long on Nvidia yet. But we could definitely get a little bit more of a retest. The fact that we are kind of holding some kind of support. Let's take a look at Apple. SPY Qs held at 10 EMA yesterday and gapped below them today. That is correct. Yep. So definitely still in the downtrend for sure. We got Apple looks pretty weak for sure. We're now gapping below 1, 2, 3 VPOCs. We do have a strong support somewhere coming in at 141.02. So roughly, let's just call it 141. But I'd be a little aggressive on that. We do have a bullish engulfing candle, right, from day to day. As this one kind of comes down, I think this 141 is going to be some kind of support for Apple. That being said, we were looking at the monthly chart last night in the mentor group. And honestly, we got up to about a 50% retracement of last month's entire candle. And it does look like we are relatively weak. So we'll see if this area holds. Obviously, if you're in it for any type of swing trade, you want to definitely see this 138.03 break. But I don't think that happens today. So again, I'm not sure how weak everything is going to be, but we definitely have some interesting gaps. It's just gapping into some kind of support. We're not really breaking free yet. Let's take a look. For Jeff Bezos is requesting, can you look at Amazon? I will do that. Jeffrey Bezos. This one, Amazon, looks to be, again, we have a little bit of support coming in. I don't know if that one holds. This is a very good gap. Again, we have technically a retest gap, but you're retesting just an inside candle. You're not retesting candles that really develop the story of Amazon. So I think this one is going to play more of this. Every single bull that got here, you got a little bit of volume coming on this one. And all of those guys, for the most part, were holding steady until this gap below the 10 EMA. Amazon looks like a decent short. Technically, it is a retest gap, so maybe we get a couple of bullish candles out of gate. Everything looks not pleasant. We got Tesla. Twist it, pop it, beat it. This is the daily candle. We've had no green days in a while. We had some kind of hope that maybe we could stay hanging in this thing. Even that one closed below the higher volume candle, which is this high wave. So we have this high wave. This one has good volume. That's an inside high wave candle after a disastrous jump down, gap down. We got a close below that. Another inside. That inside is starting to break. We still have a little bit, again, hope at somewhere that's 233, but otherwise, besides that, and besides all this zone where we maybe get some kind of a bounce, I don't know if we do. I think this is short, and probably we could take this one to 226. Again, does that happen today? I don't know. The range is going to be tough. There's going to be some buying in there somewhere, I would assume. We are really far away from that 10 EMA. I would expect to bounce at some point. But honestly, I think we have to get down to this 226.79 first. There doesn't seem to be anything really wanting to hold this thing up. Which it says, I want Irene to break below the 618 fib. If she does, she thinks she will keep dating you. I mean, that's hopeful. Wish I got the hopium. Let's see. What is this chart? So we got a little bit of divergence, bearish divergence on the Qs. We got 275. So we got the 618 sitting somewhere around this range. What is that? 273.62. All right. So you still need a little bit to the downside, but yeah, if we start breaking that 618, there's not a lot, at least until 267.10 is our last saving grace for maybe it's a double bottom and we rally from there. But we're right in that 56.18. So we'll see. Obviously the chips got a little beat up. DraftKings has a little bit of a bullish day. Let's check coin. Let's check Bitcoin real quick. And Bitcoin. Sitting still under that 20K. We've done a whole lot of nothing for a long time in Bitcoin. I forget who it was. Is it the CEO of Chewy? There's a CEO, and I forget of where, but he's been buying. I thought it was Chewy, but he's been buying millions and millions and $1 million of Coinbase. He's been buying coin like crazy. I forget who it is. I want to say it's the CEO of Chewy, but I'm not sure. If it is him, he's got a very big social media presence. CEO of Pets. I'm not sure if it's the guy from Chewy. He was one of the main influences of the GameStop squeeze. I'm not saying that this is the same situation, but if anybody has that information or finds it, let me know. I forget. I heard the story briefly. I was like, interesting. But there is somebody putting significant amounts of money into Coinbase. So keep an eye on that. Otherwise, looks like a little bit of a gap and go at this point. Still got some kind of support, 69.65 at the 10 EMA. So we'll see if that holds. Obviously, anything, some other stocks to watch would be anything in the pot, marijuana, cannabis, weed, the ganja industry. As we have 9 minutes left. Just as Biden did pardon anybody with, I don't know if it was anybody or maybe on the federal level, but it was anybody with in jail for cannabis reasons or possession, really. So that is, the market took it very, very well at the end of the day. These things were up massive pretty much across the board. Any of the weed stocks, maybe we get some continuation today. I don't think that news is driving the cannabis stocks for the most part. I think that's a good sign for the cannabis industry. And I think people are looking at it saying, listen, we have a couple weeks until November 8th. I think we start seeing, and that's why the Biden speech might be important today. We have a few weeks until November 8th where they don't know if they continue to hold the House and the Senate. And a lot of times they're going to desperately push through any of the bills that they were trying to get them accomplished, to get them through, get them done, since they have House, Senate, and the presidency right now. So I would say even anything in the electric industry, anything in the weed industry, but I think the weed news is not so much, that's good for people getting out of jail, but are they going to try to sneak through any other policies before November 8th? So that's going to be one to watch. Make sure you keep those on the radar. The irony is Carl was tough on drugs back when she was a prosecutor. Yep. Or claims to be. I don't know. I don't know what tough on anything means. I think it's early still. Pardons don't equal new sales for these companies. They don't. No, exactly. So I don't think the pardons really play into why. In some sense, it was right. Sometimes it was, but I think people are looking again a little bit more future. Like, okay, they just pardoned people on this, right? And now that they pardoned them, they could probably pass through something else to legalize something. And again, it's probably all speculation, all tinfoil hat theories. Who knows what actually happens? But there is limited time before November 8th. And typically you see before elections, you see some things get passed that are just kind of getting pushed through because they're trying to fit as much stuff as they can. So anytime I think you have a president speaking, I think it's going to be interesting. And I think people are going to start trying to figure out which bills they're going to sneak through before the elections. Just says mushrooms are next. Just legalize everything. Maloney says full on Amsterdam. Yeah, we got 3 weeks to turn into Amsterdam. Is essentially what's happening. Boeing looks pretty weak, still inside that candle. So again, maybe we hold, but otherwise targets on Boeing 126.53. Let's see if PayPal has any motion in the ocean. Gap and go still got a little support by the 10. Airbnb. Wow. For a second there, pre-market said $92 on Airbnb. I was going to just get a second mortgage and go all in on shorts if that was the case. But for some reason, jumped out. You do have a double bottom on Airbnb for sure. I could even make a case. You might even have a full 5 wave count. It's been holding up decent. This gap is a little bit significant though. So we're coming in. We are gapping below the high wave candle, which is technically a retest indecision. But more importantly, we're gapping through 2 other days of bullishness. We are under the last VPOC. This one probably has some room down to about 106.50. So probably to the downside, you have at least $2. And we are below this. So again, see if we can get a green candle out of the gate somewhere and look for a breakdown of that structure. It's been holding relatively decent, but I could think this one comes down. I'm still looking to add some positions, just want it much lower. How do I like Peloton? I mean, any company so innovative to attach iPads to anything, I kind of like. I mean, genius. I mean, why do you think people like Tesla? It's pretty much a car with an iPad. You saw what happened to Tesla. Why can't just attaching the iPad to a bike be the same effect? Peloton right now, so it is a gap and go. We're not clearing yesterday's range for a day trade basis. I don't know. I do think for the most part, this is a company that goes to zero to some extent. It's either zero or buyout. But even the buyout, I don't think necessarily means that people are getting their money back. I don't think the buyout's going to be for that much. So this one, I think everything in Peloton, for the most part, is going to end up being sell the rips. And this is a company that I think can eventually no longer be talked about in the world of stocks. That being said, you do have a bullish gap and go. You had a little bit of trap out of the gate. Again, you're still now trapping any of those people. So if this thing starts to break down that 10 EMA on the daily, next stop on this one would probably be 742, then 697, and it's just an eventual path to probably zero. Mike says I haven't looked at Peloton for a while. The problem is no investors are. That's the problem. You're not the only one. Did I see Google? GOOGL. Oh, we're getting some spam in YouTube land. Okay. I appreciate the no spamming, but Google. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, Google looks extremely weak. Again, we have this little zone of support, but everything else looks so like, do we just hit 99.29 and bounce? I mean, we're trapping a decent amount of people. We should have, I would assume we have some room at least to 99.20. We also have all of these VPOCs that really haven't been retested, specifically this one down here. We kind of did retest that one, I guess. Yeah, I'm just worried about targets. Everything looks bearish, but again, we still have technically a little bit of a retest out of the gate, and then we're just in these heavy volume areas that we've been trading sideways. It makes it feel good, but do we get caught up and not really move as much as we think? Netflix, if this one drops a little bit more, Netflix will probably have target back to 231. That gives us about $5. 7 seconds. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm freaking out, YouTube. The only way to really calm me down is to hit that thumbs up button because the bell is ringing. Oh, I can't. I'm broke. I just lost it all. I lost it all. At least make me feel better about myself by hitting that like button. YouTube, be safe out there in the market. Keep in mind, you can always join us each and every single day, full days. We trade till 6, or we're streaming till 6 p.m. in the evening. So just check out the All Access Pass. Otherwise, for free education, go to reallifetrading.com, and you could literally take any of those free courses. Thanks for joining me each and every day, except for you, person who's spamming the chat. I'm not a fan of you. Either way, we'll catch all you guys